Welcome back to the Arbitrary YouTube channel. Today's class we're going to learn how to make this lovely shirt dress with pockets. Okay, it has pockets and the pockets are functional. It's not just for beauty purpose. So we are going to learn how to cut and sew this with a standard shirt collar. For me, I added sleeves to mine, but you can also make yours sleeveless. So this is what the front looks like, and on the back it has an elastic at the back. So you can see this is what the back looks like. It has this adjustable elastic at the back. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. This is something you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so I'm using a crepe fabric for this, and I'm folding both front and back together. You can fold on bias as well, but I don't have so much fabric, so I'm just folding it normally. My fabric is folded into 4. You can see 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the length. The fabric is by 60, so that's what I'm working with. And if you notice, I have allowance. This is my back, and for the front it's a shirt, so I have 2 inches allowance here for the front, so that I can create my button placket. Okay, so let me shift this so that we can see well. So the 2 inches here is for my button placket. So I'll start taking my measurements from here. So I'll start by taking my shoulder measurement. Is a sleeveless dress, so I have 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm adding off an inch so that I can fold the sleeve hem easily. Then for my neck width, I'm working with a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1 inch for the back, and for the front I'm working with 3 inches. So for the front I'm going to mark it into the allowance that I created. For my shoulder slope I'm coming down by 1 inch. For my armhole it's 9 inches. For my waistline, okay, my true waistline is around 17.5 inches, but because of tummy, okay, I want to come upwards a little bit because I don't want it as an elastic. I don't want the elastic to be resting on my tummy, so I just place it a little under my under bust. Okay, so I think I'm going to work with 15.5 or so for my waistline. And then for my hip line is 25. So I'm going to make all of these measurements into a straight line. This is the armhole line, this is the waistline, and this is the hip line. So I'll connect my shoulder slope as well. The fabric is not so thick, so I'm trying to be careful with it. I don't want to drag it too much. Okay, and then I'm going to use the curved ruler to mark my neckline. So this is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. So for the armhole, I'm going to mark my bust divided by 4. The bust I'm working is 44. I'm adding half an inch for it, or depending on how free you want to. If you had half an inch for it, it means you're adding 2 inches extra. Remember, it's folded into 4. So if you want 4 inches extra, you just add maybe 1 inch. So I'm marking on 11.5, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance to that. For my waist is 36. Okay, so 36 divided by 4 is 9. I'm adding extra half an inch to that as well, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance. You can also add more to the waist. Since we are gathering it, so let me just add extra half an inch, since we'll be gathering with an elastic like I said. Okay, so for my hip is 46 divided by 4 is 11.25. Okay, so I'm going to add extra to the hip as well, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance. So I'm going to connect all these measurements together. You can use your cuff or your free hand to do that. So I'm connecting from my bust to my waist, from my waist to my hip. It's an A-line dress, like I said. So after my hip, I have extra 3.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to connect that 3.5 inches diagonally to the hem. Okay, so for my armhole, the same shoulder measurement that I took, I'll bring it down here as well to get a straight line, and I'll create an armhole curve there. So I'm sure we already know how to do all of this. So the next thing to do after this is to go ahead now and cut out your pattern. The fabric is shifting, so I'm trying as much as possible not to mark on it too much. Okay, so now I'm going to shift this so that you will see how I'm going to mark this to the hem. So if you have a long ruler, you just mark. I don't have a long ruler here, so I'm just using my tape to see how the lines are going to go, and then I'm going to mark dash lines there so that my ruler will be able to connect them. So I'll start connecting from the hip all the way to the hem of the dress. It's a long dress, so that's what I have there. I'm going to grab my scissors now and cut it out. You can see now that I have cut it out. This is the shape that I have now. So now the next thing to do is to remove my back. So I've notched where my allowance starts so that when I remove the back, it will be obvious. I'm going to remove the back, and then I'm going to reconnect my neckline for the front. So from here, I'm going to place my ruler and then connect my neck width for the front so that I can cut out the front neck width as well. So I'm going to fold the button allowance first before I do anything. We don't really need to work on the back that much, so the major work is on the front, so I'll just set the back aside. So here I'm going to open up the back just like this, and I'm going to be folding my allowance. Okay, see my notch here, it's not so visible on the other side, so I'm just going to use this to notch it again. Okay, so you can just place this on it to notch. I think you have cut out that part that we notched, so I'm going to be placing what I cut out to notch it again. So I'm placing a notch here. So this is how you're going to fold it. You will fold from this end to where your notch is, and then I'm going to be folding it a little bit in like this. Then we are going to sew on it. So before I fold it, I'm going to go ahead and iron it down. So you can fold to the back like this. Okay, you can see my fabric does not really have a true front and back, so for me I want to fold it to the front so that when I sew on it, I'm going to have like this little opening here. That's how I want it. So you just fold to where the notch is, and then you fold in a little bit and then iron on it and sew. Okay, so I've gone ahead to fold this, and you can see I used hemming gum to fold it. So I'm just going to sew on it a little bit. That's all I need to do. So the next thing I want to do now is to cut out and fix my pockets. So for the pockets, we have 4 pockets, 2 on each side of the front. So for the main pocket, I have measured as a fabric that measures 7.5 inches in length. Okay, this is the length, 7.5 inches, and then the width is 6 inches. So this is 7.5 inches by 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is to fold half an inch on each side, and then half an inch here. So on the upper part here, I'm going to fold in half an inch first and then fold in 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to be sewing it on this part. So once one pocket starts around the bust point area, my bust point is 11, so I'm going to mark that here. I'm going to mark the 11 inches here as where my pocket is going to start from. I'll mark 11 inches, and then the distance that is going to be from the center for me around 3 to 2.5 inches. So I'm working with 3 inches. So I'm going to be placing the pockets here when I'm done folding it. And then I also cut out a pocket cover. So for my pocket cover, it measures 7 inches. Remember, the width of this pocket is 6, so I made the pocket cover a bit wider. So it measures 7 inches by 6 inches. So 7 inches is going to be the width. So this is 7 inches by 6 inches. So all you just need to do is to fold this into 2, and then you sew on the 2 ends so that you can turn it out. So when we turn it out, I'm going to be placing it here. You sew it, and then we're going to flip to cover, and then you top stitch on it of the upper part. So I'm going to be placing the first one here, and then the second one. From where your first one stops, you can measure maybe between 7 to 9 inches and place the next one exactly on that spot. I'll go and sew it now. I'm sure you understand this better when I sew. So that we can understand it well, I've gone ahead to turn it. So this is the cover. Okay, you just sew it on the side and then flip to turn. So I ironed it, and then I went ahead to top stitch on it like this, just to give it some design. Okay, not compulsory that you top stitch on it. And then for the main pocket, like I said, you fold in half an inch all round. Then on the upper part here, you fold in half an inch, and then you fold in 1 inch again. So you can see I just used my hemming gun to hold it down. So when I'm sewing, I'm going to sew all around, and it's going to hold it even better for me. Okay, so all you just need to do is to bring in your shirt like this. When you bring in your shirt, we already marked where we want it to be. I marked 11 inches from the upper part, okay, which is here, and then from the center front I marked 3 inches, which is here. So I'll just bring it, the folded 1 inch is going to be on the upper part. So you're going to place it like this. I already marked where it's going to be, so it's going to make this easier for me. You can pin it down before you get to your sewing machine like this. So after pinning it down, you run a stitch all around like this, leaving this upper part open. Remember, it's a pocket, you cannot close the upper part. Then for the cover, okay, so remember we made the cover a bit wider than the main pocket, so you're going to sort of centralize it. So here I'm going to place it like this, and then I'm going to sew on it like this by 1/4 of an inch. So after sewing it like this, I'm going to flip it over like this, and then I'm going to top stitch on it just to hold it in place and to conceal the rough edge that I'm going to have here. So you sew like this, and then flip and sew. So that's for the first one. For the second one, depending on where you want to place it, you can place it around your hip line area, or you can just measure from where the first one starts from. I'll just measure around 14 inches, which is here, and then you come here through the center front again and measure the same 3 inches, so that they will all be on the same straight line. And then you're going to place the next pocket. So you can check it. If this distance is fine for you, you can go with it. If it's too short, then you can increase it. Okay, so you can see I've gone ahead to fix the pockets. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So you just iron it, and then we continue. So I've also sewn the placket area, so it is completely sewn. Now you can sew it on the 2 sides if that is what you want. It's going to give it even more beautiful design. So now I'm partially done with the front. So there's an elastic at the back like I mentioned. So for that, I have marked out my waistline, and I'm going to be creating a casing for the elastic there. So just cut out a fabric that can take the size of the elastic you're working with. I'm working with a 1 inch elastic. So I'm going to be cutting out this fabric. So on my waistline now, I'm going to sew this like this. Then after sewing it, I'm going to flip it over and sew on it. So this is just to create a casing to insert our elastic. So once I create my casing, I'm going to divide my waist by 2. If you remember, the elastic is just on the back, so we're using the back waist measurements now. So your full waist divided by 2. Mine is giving me 18 inches. So depending on how fitted you want to be, you can remove from 5, 4, 3 or 2 inches from that measurement. Mine is 18. If I remove 2 inches, I'll have 16 inches. So that is what I'm going to use to gather this waistline. You can see. Okay, if you want it more fitted, you can remove up to 3 inches, up to you. So I'll go ahead and create the casing and insert my elastic. So once your elastic is inserted, I'll lock it on both ends so that it does not remove. Okay, so I've gone ahead to do that. You can see that the back now has an elastic gather. So once you pass it through the channel, this is the channel I created inside. Okay, and then I passed it like this. You can see, so you sew it on both ends to hold it together. So this is what the waist looks like now at the back. So what you just need to do now is to place your front and back on each other, right side facing right side. We're going to join it on the shoulder as well as the side seam. Okay, so I'm going to join the shoulder and the side seam. For the armhole, you're going to hem it with your bias, and you can also fix a sleeve. I think I'm just going to fix a small sleeve to mine. That's the perks of being a designer, so you can change it to whatever it is you want. I'm just going to fix a small sleeve as against it being sleeveless. So now that we are done joining the front and back, okay, this is the front. I've joined the shoulder together as well as the side. So this is the front, this is the back with the elastic, and this is the other side of the front. So this is what we have so far. So now the next thing to do is to take your neckline together, and then you measure what you have there. Whatever you have, you use that to cut out your collar. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut a collar already on the channel, so we don't need to go through that. I've used that measurement to cut out. I used to cut my collar and my collar stand together in one single piece. Okay, you can see there's no joining. That's why I decided not to add hair stitches because I don't want it too strong. So I just used my fabric, and I cut my collar and my collar stitch together like I explained. So this is my collar. So I have a tutorial on how you can do this. If you don't know how to cut it, you can check that tutorial out so that I can cut yours as well. So now I'm going to pin this collar. The seam allowances have already been ironed inside, so I'll just pin it around the collar, and then I'm going to fix a basic sleeve to mine. Like I said, I don't want it to be sleeveless, so I'll fix my sleeve and my collar as well. So the next thing to do is just to create your button holes and fix your button on the placket that we created, just like this. But for me, I don't think I'm going to be using button for mine. I'm going to use like okay, so I'm gonna have to fix my collar. As you can see, just pin it and sew. I have fixed the collar, and like I said, I'm adding a small sleeve to mine, so I've also sewn the sleeve in. So like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to be using buttons. I'm going to use metal snap button. I'm not going to be creating button hole for mine. This is what I want to use. I'm going to be using metal snap button. So if you are using button hole, you just need to create your button hole on this side, and then you fix buttons so that you can fix it. But for me, this is what I want to use. So I fixed buttons. You mark where you want it to be. Mine is 3 inches interval, and then I fix on the pocket area as well. So when you get maybe like 20 inches before your hem, you stop fixing. I can also fix to the end of the dress. So this is what it looks like. You can see that the waist area is going inwards. It's kind of shaped. That's because of the elastic that is at the back. That is what is giving it that shape. So this metal snap, okay, let me just show you what it looks like. I think I have a tutorial on it already. So this is what it looks like. and then you're going to be attaching it to your dress using the regular, so you're using the regular machine that we use to fix our highlights. Okay, so it has its own dies. Let me just show you how I did this. So it has 4 different studs. It has 4 different mouths, and then each of the mouths too has their own dies. Okay, so this goes with this and this goes with this. So all you just need to do is to fix them in like this. Once you fix it in, you put your fabric under it, and then you bang it down. So it's going to fix it for you like this, so you can see. So for the other one too, you just bring in the dies that you will use to do it. Then you fix in the dies. Once the dice is fixed in, you are going to work with it. So this is the dice for that one. Then you change the upper dice for this as well. I have a detailed tutorial on it already, so this is not going to be detailed. So you are going to fix it as a screw. You are going to fix it on the upper part like this, and then you just put your stud in it, your metal snap. So the one that goes down, you put it down, and the one that is going to be upwards, you are going to be fixing it upwards. So once you fix it like that, all you just need to do is to just press it down, and it's going to be attached like this. So that way you can just close and open it. So I'll go and iron this dress now, and then I'm going to take it to the mannequin so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we have on the mannequin. You can see how lovely this is looking. So this is our collar. Like I said, I want the collar to have the same consistency with the clothes. That's why I did not add any stain there. It's just my fabric, and this is my short sleeve that I added. So if you're not adding sleeve, you just need to hem your armhole so that it can be neat. And we have 2 pockets here as well around the hip line area. So here you can button it down or just leave it as it is so that it can form like a slit for you. It's totally up to you and what you want. So I'm going to flip it now so that we can see what the back looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like on this side, and this is the back. So at the back you can see it has an elastic that makes it as big as you want. This is actually for a big size. So it's actually the elastic that will gradually need to fit this mannequin just like we have it, and you can see how free and lovely it is. This is the collar, and this is the collar stand. So this is what I was explaining. I normally cut my collar stand and collar together, and I have a tutorial on how you can do that on the channel already, so you can check that tutorial out. So I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful dress with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.